Hello and welcome to E3 2020's post show, sponsored by Twitch. Today I got guys from Rogue Squadron Studios. I have lead storyteller Rudy Schouest, and I have lead programmer Tristan Parsons. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us here, man. You know, it's pretty exciting to finally be at E3 post show. You know,
it's good to be here.
Big things going on here.
Always big things.
Right. So social media is buzzing with the new IP, Carbon Copy. Do you guys want to quickly just run through a few things going on regarding the story mode?
You know, honestly, we weren't like expecting it to get this hot. You know, from what you said, social media, we've been looking, and you know, it's nice to know that we have a fan base being so much of a small company. You know.
Yeah, Twitter's blowing up crazy on social media. So quickly, just run down a few things of what the player is going to be able to do on release day of the game.
Okay. So have you ever felt like you've been on the run?
Yeah, occasionally.
So that's what we're going to be doing in Carbon Copy. You know, so you play as Fitch,
okay.
Who is a clone, gone rogue. A lot of things aren't like crazy, you know. Who's on the run from the law enforcement of Asuslamana. It's a really, really weird, really complicating word.
Okay.
Just to let you know that, and everyone has to know that. So her main mission is to finally become free from the law enforcement and from the Vitae Aeterna Global, which is the clone forming company. And she hears of a city that's pretty much like Utopia, that takes in anyone of any gender, any background, anything like that, you know, and lets them live and be what they want to be.
Okay, so quick rundown of Asuslamia? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You want to quickly just run through what that is?
Yeah, so we're giving you a cyberpunk, like sci-fi background almost, like.
Okay.
So how do I say it? It's more or less like, you know, it's like grungy, kind of like, you know, you got the really bright signs and just the buildings that don't look like they should be there. You ever seen The Matrix?
Yeah.
When they're not in the Matrix, kind of like that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, as far as you know, mechanics goes for the game, you guys want to quickly run through that? Is it going to be more of a combat heavy? Is it more non-violent? Want to run through that for me, Tristan?
When we started planning out the game, we decided that we wanted to make the game more story-centric. It's going to be heavily stealth-based in all the mechanics.
Okay.
We really decided we didn't want to do the overdone cyberpunk shooter genre, and we wanted to make sure that basically all the choices that the character makes will have an effect on all the storyline.
Okay.
Like if he was going through the city and you see a beggar and they notice you and they're like, hey, you're the clone on the run. You can pay that beggar off, basically, to keep them from trying to turn you in, and it helps keep your notoriety level down within the city.
Oh, so what you basically are saying is, based on the choices you make in the game, the environment around you changes as far as, you know, NPCs and AI, they react to you differently based on the choices you make throughout the game.
Yeah. So like, it's more or less just like you like he was saying, the beggar can see you and be like, I know you, and you can be like, here's some money, you know, look like you need it. And then law enforcement can run by and be like, have you seen this woman? And he can be like, no, I haven't seen her. It's another thing where it's just like we've also incorporated a lot of stealth mechanics into this also, if you think about it. And there's times where you can be running and then a dumpster might pop and you'd be like, oh, this dumpster's openable, get inside the dumpster. You can cut a corner real quick, cut into somebody's backyard, or whatever the case may be. These things we thought about and we saw from other games and they've worked, so we're like, you know what, we're going to use that.
So as far as the environment goes, there's going to be numerous hiding spots throughout the environment. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. So, what else is there to expect? Is, you know, gameplay wise, is there going to be more of free running, free roam environment?
It's going to be more like a hub world.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be multiple places that you can kind of go to as you're trying to get to the city, but each level basically that you're in will be open to the player. The player will be able to get everywhere, it's one way or another.
Okay.
Even though some places you might have to get through many obstacles to reach.
Okay, so showing from the the show earlier, there was some clips of the player running around and parkouring off different environments and different walls and such. Is the gameplay going to be more heavily based on movement and stealth, or is it going to be more just?
It's actually going to be greatly around stealth.
Okay.
Movement is another part of it because you will be able to parkour and run around to areas to where you can hide from guards, hide from the enemies doing their patrols. But also we have a mechanic where the player can use a cloaking device to be able to hide.
Okay.
But the cloaking device is for a very limited time and only for a certain amount of movement. So for the cloaking device, you can crouch and kind of do a slow walk, but you cannot run and parkour and jump.
So there will be no cloaking and sprinting around the map.
No, not at all.
No, okay.
No way. Because think about how unfair that would be. You just I'm gonna go invisible and I'm just gonna run through everything. No one can see me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you might have mentioned it, but we've incorporated the point where if she's like standing next to something, she kind of takes the background of that. But if she's standing in just an open area where like maybe a fog might run through or something like that, you can see a disfiguration there. So you have to literally, it might make you invisible, but you have to also take into the fact that you need to also hide with this, because at that point you're still noticeable if you're in the open.
So cloaking within the shadows is probably the way to go.
Definitely.
It's more of a chameleon effect than an invisibility cloak.
Okay. More or less, we've seen some footage in the show. There's going to be different choices for the player. I want to run down some of the choices the player's going to be able to do.
Yeah. So he mentioned earlier the beggar. There's going to be points in the story where Fitch might do something, and at that point, she might not realize what an example she makes to other clones, or how big of an influence. That influence can also be very negative. She can decide. Fitch is on the run because she wants to be, and she's causing other clones. She's more or less inspiring other clones to be like, I want to be just like her, But what they don't understand is that Fitch caused this chain reaction of the law enforcement being out now, and so what Fitch doesn't realize is that clones are possibly dying because of her actions.
Right. So more or less, going back to the mechanics, is there going to be a way to manipulate the AI? Are you going to be following like a set pathway, or is there going to...
Another thing you can do within the game is you can actually watch the guards and learn their patrol routes, and once you do that, you will actually be able to see the patrol route that the guard is taking.
Yeah, and we have one more. That is the distraction mechanic that we involved. It might not be as big as some of our other mechanics because, it's something so minuscule, but it allows Fitch to throw small objects like bottle, a rock, maybe some coins, just to attract a noise to where they either pull the guards closer or further away from her so she can get away. Yeah, because another thing is just like you said, you could see a group of clones and you could be like, I can talk to them, I cannot talk to them. You gotta think, there's some clones that might be too heavily influenced by the clone corporation, the Vita Eterna Global, so they can be like, oh, there's Fitch, and call authorities. So there's a big thing where it's like a risk and reward kind of thing almost, where you can go talk to them and possibly get information, or if they see you, or whatever the case may be, you can get the law enforcement can be called on you, and then you'd have to run again.
So will there be like other side missions available for the player to get their hands on launch day, or is it just going to be more of a linear story, just go here and
I think we're looking to more or less incorporate a side quest, probably not as heavy as the main storyline, but just to give it more of an experience where like I don't have to do the entire storyline. I can do side quests, I can do this. You can even possibly learn more of the story through side quests.
Yeah.
I would probably call them more like secondary objectives.
Okay. So will there be any form of multiplayer in this game at all?
As of right now, do you think we could even...
As of right now, no.
No
multiplayer
as
of right now.
Okay.
But we do have ideas. It will depend on feedback from the community.
Okay. Well, sounds amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play the game on release day. I want to thank Rudy and Tristan for stopping by
We were
in the post
glad
show.
to be here.
Yeah,
Really
very good
quick,
thing to be
platforms. What is it gonna
So as of right now, we have the Xbox One X that's coming out,
be? Right.
and we have the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
PC, Steam only, sadly, and the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, Switch and release date.
Probably coming out the quarter of next year.
So top of 2021, huh?
Yeah, top of 21.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, guys, and can't wait for the game to drop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can't either.